A major diplomatic conversation just took place between the United States and Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. According to the U.S. State Department, Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, recently held a phone call with Ethiopia's leader to discuss a range of critical issues, including regional stability, counterterrorism cooperation, economic development, and long-term security in the Horn of Africa. This was not just a routine diplomatic call. In fact, it was the second conversation between the two leaders in less than 4 months, signaling how important Ethiopia has become in regional and global security discussions. So, what exactly did they talk about? And why is Ethiopia becoming such an important partner for stability in Africa? Let's break it all down. The United States Department of State confirmed that Secretary Marco Rubio spoke directly with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on March 12, 2026. According to officials, the two leaders discussed several key areas of cooperation: regional stability, counterterrorism efforts, economic growth, and long-term security in the Horn of Africa. The conversation was described as a shared commitment between both countries to strengthen peace and stability across the region. For Ethiopia, this kind of dialogue reflects its growing diplomatic influence, especially in a region that plays a crucial role in global security and trade. And this wasn't the first time they've spoken recently. Back in December 2025, the two leaders also held talks focused on peace-building and stability in the Horn of Africa. The fact that these conversations are happening regularly shows how closely the United States is working with Ethiopia on regional issues. To understand why these discussions are so important, we need to look at the region known as the Horn of Africa. This area includes countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Sudan. This region sits near one of the most important shipping routes in the world, connecting the Red Sea to global trade networks. Because of this strategic location, stability in the Horn of Africa affects not just Africa, but also Europe, the Middle East, and global commerce. And Ethiopia plays a central role here. With a population of more than 120 million people, Ethiopia is the second most populous country in Africa and one of the region's largest economies. It also hosts the headquarters of the African Union in its capital, Addis Ababa, making it a major diplomatic hub for the entire continent. The phone call between the United States and Ethiopia also comes at a very important moment for regional diplomacy. Recently, the president of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Guelleh, hosted talks involving leaders from Somalia and Ethiopia. These types of meetings are aimed at reducing tensions and encouraging cooperation between countries in the region. At the same time, analysts say there are concerns about potential conflicts involving several countries in the Horn of Africa. Because of these challenges, diplomatic engagement has become extremely important, and Ethiopia has increasingly taken a central role in these discussions. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has been involved in multiple regional negotiations and diplomatic efforts over the past few years, working with international partners to maintain stability. Another topic that has reportedly come up in discussions between the United States and Ethiopia involves international security cooperation. According to reports, Washington has asked Ethiopia to consider contributing troops to a potential international security force connected to reconstruction efforts in Gaza Strip. The idea behind this international force would be to help stabilize the region after years of conflict and support rebuilding efforts. However, many countries are still reviewing the proposal, and discussions are ongoing about the mission's structure, mandate, and responsibilities. Ethiopia has long experience participating in international peacekeeping missions. In fact, Ethiopian troops have served in multiple missions across Africa and beyond, often playing a key role in maintaining stability and protecting civilians. That reputation for professionalism is one reason why Ethiopia is frequently approached when global security initiatives are being planned. Over the past decade, Ethiopia has increasingly become a major diplomatic player in Africa. the country has been actively engaged in regional peace initiatives, counterterrorism cooperation, economic development partnerships, and international peacekeeping missions. Its capital, Addis Ababa, has become one of the most important political capitals on the continent, hosting major diplomatic meetings and negotiations. At the same time, Ethiopia has been strengthening relationships not just with the United States, but also with countries in the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. These partnerships are focused on long-term goals like economic development, infrastructure growth, and regional stability. The recent phone conversation between Marco Rubio and Abiy Ahmed highlights something very important. Ethiopia is playing an increasingly significant role in shaping the future of the Horn of Africa. As regional challenges evolve, from security concerns to economic development, cooperation between nations will be essential, and Ethiopia is emerging as a key partner in those efforts. Through diplomacy, dialogue, and regional cooperation, the country continues to work towards a more stable and prosperous future, not just for itself, but for the entire region. From hosting international organizations to participating in peacekeeping missions and engaging in global discussions about security, Ethiopia's voice on the world stage is becoming stronger. For many observers, that growing influence reflects Ethiopia's long history as one of Africa's most important nations, a country that has consistently played a central role in regional politics and diplomacy. And as conversations like this one between Washington and Addis Ababa continue, Ethiopia's role in shaping peace and stability across the Horn of Africa will likely remain more important than ever. The coming years will determine how these partnerships evolve and how regional cooperation continues to develop. But one thing is already clear: Ethiopia is not just part of the conversation about Africa's future, it is helping lead it. And as diplomatic engagement continues and regional cooperation deepens, Ethiopia's influence, both in Africa and on the global stage, is likely to continue growing in the years ahead.